Welcome, welcome
Yes.
to the Life with Distortion podcast. And we are delighted to have Martin, aka Life with Distortion, here to
Yes.
join us from the beautiful streets of Brooklyn, New York. And I am here in beautiful, dark Turku, Finland. How has your few weeks been, Mr. Martin?
Oh man, it's been pretty busy and hectic. Um, Trying to promote our new song, which I hope everyone has heard it by now, and if not, go check it out.
What
Just been
song? What
making a
song would
lot of
that be? What song are you
lucid
talking about?
dreams. The best song ever, Lucid Dreams.
Oh, Lucid Dreams. You mean the song that you and
Yeah,
I
that's that
collaborated
song
on?
we did. That song we did together.
I've been listening to it, and I've actually been sharing it with my friends.
Yeah, same here. I probably listened to it today, like no joke, like 8 times, 8 or 9 times.
Okay. Yeah, I listened to
Yeah.
it today a bunch too. And I was also trying to look, because it's on a few playlists, and there's one playlist that it's on that has like a lot of listeners. So I'm going to try to promote that playlist to try to get the playlister to want to keep our song on it, because at the end of the day, so here's what I wanted to talk to you, and we have a lot to talk about. Okay,
Yeah.
should we just say it really quick, because I want to go back on. I have so much I want to talk. We started a band. We ended up. We said the song went so good. We had such a great time making it. We might as well make a band. So we started a new band, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, same here. Unite us with distortion.
It's a great band name. Now the logo is something that I want to work on, because I have an idea where. So listen to this. If any of you art people are listening and want to mess around or draw, maybe Alice Cooper guy wants to. But what I'm thinking is the Janitas logo, the J, is like a little character,
Yeah.
because I created my own font where there's uppercase A and lowercase a, uppercase B, lowercase a font, and each letter, uppercase and lowercase, are these little characters. So the
Okay.
J just so happens to be a dinosaur J. That's what the uppercase J is. And what I was thinking for the logo for Life with Distortion, because I don't want it to be um, cheap or like amateur looking,
Yeah, of course.
right? But of course, like at the end of the day, a dinosaur J may appear that way, although it also doesn't really matter, because how many logos of bands are there that maybe aren't the greatest? I don't want to say are the great. I'm just going so far off track. So basically, what I want to do is take. It was like one logo, because I think a band needs to have like a few
Okay.
logos. The one logo idea I have is the dinosaur J being himself
Hmm.
with a chord, like a guitar chord coming out. I don't know
Okay.
if I don't know if I want him holding a guitar or not. I don't know. Maybe that would be cool if the dinosaur J was holding a guitar. Okay. There's a chord coming out, and
Okay.
then when during the chord is going to connect to an amplifier,
Okay. Sounds cool so far.
and maybe like like an amplifier with distortion, distortion, right? But on the way, traveling from the dinosaur J guitar or whatever
Okay.
to the amp, the chord is going to bend, and then it's going to, in graphic design ways, the chord is going to form the word with,
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
and
I
then
like
the
that idea.
the amp itself. It's not a Marshall amp. It's a
Okay.
distortion
Distortion,
amp.
man. Okay.
So it's the
Yeah.
dinosaur J with a cable, and during along the in between the cable, it's got the cable bends to the word with
Yeah.
somehow
Yeah.
magically, and it plugs into an amp that is an amp manufactured by the company called Distortion, which we're making up because it's tinnitus with distortion. And I think that would be one logo idea that I have.
No, yeah, that's perfect. Let's go with that. I couldn't think of anything even better.
You
I love
know,
that idea.
I can see it. I can see it in my head, and I can try to make it in the next few days. And I will, you know. And if anybody else wants to mess around with some ideas, but I think that's a great idea. And then what I was going to say was, how do people listen? So, and I haven't been checking the chat. So if you see them, Martin, and anybody says something that we need to talk about, distortion in the Marshall font. Well, that's going to be up to Martin to determine how he wants the distortion font to be. But that, for example,
Yeah, that's a
Dan,
pretty good idea.
that's a cool
I like
idea.
Yeah, I like that idea as well. Let's go with that one.
Hey, Murray.
Yeah,
Murray's here.
I just made a generic one on like Pixar just to get the band page up, but that's great. I love that idea.
So, so anyway, what I wanted to talk about, of course, is we have this new song out. So, me, I don't. It's not a thing. Like I've talked about this in Mondays many times. I don't listen to music. Okay, so it's with the few exceptions of like like if Daughter of the Water sends me a song, or if Andy McCoy sends me a song, or if Martin sends me a song and it's like, hey Maddie, could you I'll listen to like certain songs that people send me. If purposely they want me to listen to it, I will. Like some people send me songs and they say, hey Maddie, can you give me your opinion on it, which is great. I should start charging for that, by the way. But anyway, I give my true opinion, like if I like it or I don't. And I tell them, don't get mad at me for letting me tell you what I feel. But I digress. So I don't listen to music, but it's interesting because we have this song that just came out, and I'm like playing around with Spotify for Artists, because I do have Spotify for Artists. I don't have Spotify. But
Okay.
the thing is, and maybe you or people that are watching this can tell me, how do people listen to music today? Because my question is important, because I want to try to promote music that I make, and I want to know how do people listen to music. And apparently, from what I've been learning, is that people listen to music on Spotify, right? But the way they listen to it, and this is where I want to know if I'm right or wrong, is the way most people listen to music on Spotify generally is through playlists.
Mm-hmm.
Is this true or not? I mean, how does it work?
Well, if you're looking for something specific, like a genre or artist that sound like the artist that you like, then yeah, a playlist makes sense. So like if I put something Life with Distortion on a playlist, it'll show music that sounds like the music that I make. So like that's how I listen to music, and I've discovered a lot of bands that way. So it's better to find bands randomly, in my opinion, rather than stick to the same ones.
But Murray says YouTube. I also agree with him. But see, here's the thing that I'm trying to figure out, because when I did listen to music, the way that I listened to it, I'm going back to when I was in my mom's bedroom in Holland, PA, and I was listening to the Color of the Shape album. Like, I think that's the last album that I listened to. I would drive in the car with Jack McCracken from a band called The Machine, who was like a rival of Inbred. Murray knows what I'm talking about. And me and Jack McCracken, I used to work in an old age home, and I was dishwasher there, and he was the manager of the kitchen. And like on our free time, we would have fun, and we would drive around in his red Pontiac and put the Color and Shape in his CD player, smoke a little weed, and drive around and listen to that album and have a blast. And that's what I used to do. And after that, that was like in 2000, I guess. I don't know when that was. 2000, 99, 2000. And after that, I really haven't listened to music. I don't listen to music because I just make it. And I listen to the music that I make. I'm not trying to come off arrogant or anything like that. What I'm trying to say is I don't listen to music. So I don't know how people listen to music today, and I'm assuming that they don't listen to CDs in their car anymore, because I don't really see cars with CD players anymore anyway.
Yeah.
So
If I ever get a CD, it's just as a collector's item, basically, just to have it on display, but not to actually put it on a CD player.
right. So then how like, and it's kind of like upsets me. It's like, well, then how? What do people do? Like, so people don't really. So people listen to songs on YouTube, and then do they listen to? Do they like? People just listen to like one song at a time? That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm assuming that if you go to YouTube, you put on like, if I want to hear a Black Sabbath song, I'll go to YouTube and put in Black Sabbath. But then YouTube will start spitting me out other songs
Yeah.
from Black Sabbath, and then slowly turn that
Yeah.
into other bands.
Yeah.
Unless
That's how it is.
I
Yeah.
have, yeah, like unless I have a dedicated YouTube channel that I'm gonna like, because now we're getting into like, do I have a YouTube subscription? No, so I don't. So there's going to be commercials, and it's going to start spitting me things out that they think that I might want to listen to. Do I have a Spotify subscription? No, I don't. I don't even own a Spotify account. I just have a Spotify for Artists account. But if I did, and I don't have a subscription, when I listen to a song on Spotify, I'm either going to get hit by a commercial, or it's going to start spitting me out other songs that sound similar to the band
Yeah.
that I wanted to. So it's like, how do people listen to music and like try to enjoy it if it's not on a playlist? Because when I go to a restaurant, which I've been doing lately,
Okay.
noticing, or the mall, like people have these playlists in their businesses, companies and businesses. They use playlisting to soothe their clients, whether it's at a restaurant or it's at the boutique in the mall. I see what they're doing. They all have Spotify playlists
Mm-hmm.
playing. So I think a lot of music that is consumed today, other than the average listener of music like myself, who doesn't really generally listen to music, but let's say most people, like Murray mentioned, they'll throw on a song on YouTube because they want to hear it, but then at the end of the day, like they're not going to be on YouTube for 3 hours listening to music. They're probably going to listen to one or two songs, get frustrated that it's spitting out all these other artists, and then go about their day not listening to music, I'm assuming. And
Yeah.
the people that are constantly listening to music are people that are businesses that are playing playlists at their stores. Like, or am I completely wrong? And there's like actually people that like listen to music for a few hours a day. I don't know. If that's you, let me know in the comments. Like, say, yo, I listen to music every day for a few hours, and I would love to know how you do it. And what do
I
you
mean,
have?
I'm
I
pretty
don't know.
sure. I'm pretty sure it depends on the day, because there's times where I listen to the same songs over and over, like constantly the same playlist. Like when I go to the gym, I either put like metal playlist or metal music, rock music, and it's the same songs the whole time. Or sometimes I want to hear something different, I put it on YouTube because it's more random than Spotify. Spotify is usually just like repeated music on the same playlist over and over, but on YouTube it could go either way. You could discover new music, new artists, new genres even. So I think it
Well,
depends on the mood of the day.
it's interesting. So Dan says, yeah, I discovered a couple of bands from suggested artists that follow what I listen to on Spotify. Then Tuama says, yeah, also YouTube is good. Platform for smaller bands to get more exposure by doing SEO and using keywords to drive traffic. And then Dan says, there's an option called Smart Shuffle on Spotify that is actively by default that plays related similar songs. And then somebody else is saying, what would be cool if you had a little cartoon of the dinosaur. Okay, he's talking about the logo. Dinosaur J, about the logo where the plays songs. Oh, where he plays songs by different artists on YouTube each week and throw in your song. Yeah, it would be actually, that would be cool to have like our logo playing songs on as a playlist or YouTube channel. But I digress. Like, the fact of the matter is, from what everybody's saying, it's like there's a million and one different ways now to listen. So here's what I'm saying, and this is true. Being simple and putting a CD in your car, or even being daring and having one of those CD players where you have 12 different CDs that shuffle, listening to a vinyl album or a tape cassette, which is kind of like the last forms of ways that I've listened to music, and up until now, it sounds like if you need SEO and playlisting and shuffles and whatever all the other things people are saying that they do, it just seems like it's very confusing. And it also seems like everybody has their way too. It doesn't, like, it's not confusing to the people that are typing these things,
Mm-hmm.
but because they're like, yeah, this is my way, this is how I do it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I see there's so many different, everybody's got their, I listen to it on YouTube, I listen to a song at a time, I listen to it on Spotify Shuffle, I listen to playlists, I listen to Apple iTunes, I listen to like, where and how people are consuming music today is bonkers. It's all over the place. That is true. I can say that. Like, people consume music in so many different ways today that it's very confusing to me of what's going on.
Yeah, especially with all those streaming platforms. You even got Pandora, like a lot of ways to. It just depends on the person, to be honest. For me, like it's either Spotify or YouTube, you know, and then
Okay. Well, like you said, for you, it's like either, well, like you saying that in 2000, in the year 2000, nobody would say that. People would either say, I listen to music in my car, I listen to the radio, I listen to music at home, or I listen to it on a vinyl or a tape cassette. Like, there's like 5 ways of listening, or I go to a live concert, right? There was literally only like 5 ways to listen to music in
mm-hmm.
2000. Now it's 24 years later. I get it. But what I'm saying is there's 5 different ways to listen to a playlist, let alone whatever the hell else is going on.
Yeah, and I guess the more popular your song is, the more traction you have, the more they'll push it, you know.
It's like all of those CDs and vinyls are the extinct way to listen to music, like the dinosaurs went extinct, Dinosaur J. But whatever works for you is keeping things alive. I heard that cassette. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, hey, Ricky Slater, legend, as Matt Lockley would say. What I'm saying is that, like, yeah, there's so many different ways to listen to music, and everybody has their own method and their own way of doing it, and everybody has their own comfort zone. But it just doesn't seem like there's one way is going to work. So,
It
like
depends on the
Thomas,
person.
yeah, but I mean,
Even like me, when it comes to vinyl and CD, it's only for collecting, just for like display purposes. I don't actually like put it on a record player or anything.
okay, because I would listen if I had a vinyl, I would listen to it and then realize that, like, there's certain songs that I kind of, hoped would end sooner than others. Because let's face it, like, a lot of albums are awesome where you can listen to it front and back. But even those albums, if you listen to them enough, you can be like, oh, I hope this song's over soon because then I really like the next song. But when you're listening to a vinyl, you're kind of committed unless you walk over and pick it up and move it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that. It's just that, like, with Rumble, YouTube, NFTs, Deezer, Spotify, Tidal, whatever. Well, those are ridiculous. Like, the other thing is, people that aren't music artists, you don't know what's going on. But when us music artists, like, go to release music through um, distribution companies, like third-party distribution companies, they put them on the platforms that you listen to. Take even Spotify for us. They put them on YouTube, but they also put them on all these other platforms that nobody's ever heard of. It's bonkers what's going on. Why is there so many different ways to listen to music? I have a good point here. Like, I might be old fashioned. I definitely am. I might not listen to music. I definitely don't. But I do have a good point. There a million and one different platforms in different ways to listen or consume music, and I'm just wondering why is that, and is it going to get more? Is there going to be more, or is there going to be some sort of?
I mean, aren't some platforms more popular in other countries than others?
It wasn't it your like when I came to Finland in 2015, Spotify was it, but I remember in 2014, like Apple iTunes was like kind of Apple iTunes and YouTube would have been more of the thing in the U.S.
Mhm. Okay.
And at that time, even CDs and stuff still, but I think in the U.S. isn't the U.S. market kind of more gearing towards Spotify too?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking you. I don't know.
I mean, I think Spotify is probably the most popular one out there,
Well,
in my opinion.
I've been doing my homework, and statistically, if you have, it's like Spotify for an average music artist that's releasing music as a music artist. Like for example, for us, we're probably going to get 60% of our streams of 60% of the consumption of our music from Lucid Dreams is going to most likely be from Spotify,
Yeah.
and then the other 40% is going to be from everywhere else.
Which, by the way, we already hit 2,000. Just throwing it out there, it's doing really well.
Yeah, the song is most likely going to continue to climb, but I think we're on. It's a sleeper song because I think that it's bigger than we actually think or that we know. It's not bigger than I know it's a big song, but it's Lucid Dreams has a commercial value that I think we are going to find out about because, like I was telling Martin, like there's a lot of Nordic stores, northern Finland and northern Sweden, that could take on the Lucid Dreams as a brand for their own companies. Like
Yeah.
Lucid Dreams can be in a movie, it could be a Nordic brand, it could be, like I see Lenny Kravitz has like perfume, and I could see Lucid Dreams being like a line. Like there's more to it than what it is, and I'm so glad that Lucid Dreams was written organically by a human being,
Hmm.
and it's a true rock and roll song by every way possible. And anybody from Andy McCoy to the Rolling Stones to the Foo Fighters or to any new artist today can appreciate that, and that's the truth. So that being said, the fact that it could be so commercially successful is actually pretty bonkers as well. Whatever that means right now, it's whatever it is what it is, but it's got a good future. I will say that.
Yeah.
You know, it's got a good future, and you have to look at music, which I've also learned, is you look at music like what's Lucid Dreams going to be doing in 10 years? Who's going to pick it up? What theme is that going to be? Who's going to be using that for something? So that's why again metadata is very important, especially today. All of the songs that are posted on Spotify pre 2018 or even around there 15, most of those songs don't really have metadata because at the end of the day a lot of artists were just releasing music and their metadata was actually on the actual album.
Hmm.
So a lot of songs that I personally performed on and helped write, none of the metadata says anything about me, and as a matter of fact it doesn't really say anything about anybody because it wasn't a thing 4 or 5 years ago. It wasn't necessarily a thing. It was a thing that the record labels would definitely be involved with because that's their thing, to be very intelligent people that know how to make money in the music business. But for most artists that are just releasing music, concerning their metadata wasn't on their concerns. It was more like, let's get this music out here.
Okay.
People that don't play or write or record or release music don't know what I'm talking about. But basically, when you're putting a song on Spotify in your car and it says the title of the song and who's on it. That's what I'm talking about. That's the metadata. And a lot of bands don't really pay much attention to that, especially they do now. It's a thing now. And that's the thing that's important, because that's going to be, that's like your barcode. You know what I mean? It's been a thing on ads, radio, TV for years and years. So, yeah, so that's basically what I'm saying. It's like today, music is so reliant on metadata because there's so many different platforms, so many ways to listen to music, that it's very difficult to be tracked. So now there's all these different ways of tracking music that's being used or consumed, and it's just it works because of the technologies of today are capable of keeping up with all of that. But 5 years ago, like, if you didn't have content ID on your song and there was like 7,000 YouTubers using your music underneath their videos, they weren't really getting flagged for that. It wasn't a thing back then. It is now.
Yeah.
If anybody notices, like, you can't really get away with playing music on, even if you're an avid Instagram poster, just casually, you have like 400 followers on your Instagram, mostly your friends, and you want to post a picture with like a cool band, and you just happen to have the music in your phone. You don't use the app. You post it, and that gets taken down quick. They're like, hey, what are you doing? It's like they're really cracking down. So, like, there's so many different variables to music today. And in some ways, it was beautiful that it was a lot simpler back 20 years ago. But in some ways, it makes it even more beautiful that there's so many different ways to do it today. But it's very difficult for me to catch up. Maybe the youngins know what it is. But Martin, what's going on?
It's pretty complicated. But I mean, it makes it good for the artists who created the song to like get their royalties, their payments, and stuff that they deserve for all the hard work basically that they put in, rather than get it stolen or stuff like that.
Well, I think that's one of the main reasons why they're doing that, because I guess Napster came around, and they were like helping, making people open up their eyes to that. But yeah, like, well after Napster, like seriously, like 5 years ago in 2019, it would be possible to be putting videos up on YouTube where you're playing a Slayer song in the background and nobody really says anything.
Even on Instagram Lives, I think if you have a song in the background, it could be taken down your live stream.
Yeah, like more. Like it's getting crazy. Like that. And for the artists, it's great if it's your metadata. Like I said, metadata, whatever that is, right? Everybody that's listening, if it's your metadata, it's great for you because your metadata is working for you. It's like, congratulations, metadata. Thank you for being there. But if you don't have all that stuff, it's still going to get taken down if it's an official song. But then there's little areas where lots of money gets pulled and put into this place where it'll be there for like a certain amount of time, and then if nobody claims it, it's like the lost and found for claimed money, and then that'll just get dispersed to either, who knows,